also want us to also look at the perspective of the government, because we have fought the government all our lives.
Yeah, we learnt it, we inherited it, and every other word.
Do you understand? So I think it's just important, and I think it's just time for young people to also own the leadership, because this is a government that's given a chance to young people. So I think it's just right time that we try our possible best to own the leadership. Let's believe in it and let's take charge of it. And I'm happy from what a lot of young people are doing. They were excelling in so many sectors. When you go to real estate, the young people are excelling. When it comes to...
It also sounds like the type of people you're describing back to me are people who have formal education, possibly family connections, and possibly, who have ventured and broken through the ceiling in many instances. But I also have the picture of a young man who has just finished NYSC, who's staying with a sister cousin, and she's asking him to go, and now he's in his own place in Lagos, and he's struggling and applying for a job. That's the picture that is quite very familiar with other Nigerians.
Yes, a lot of young Nigerians are also finding themselves in that position. But that's why we say a lot of things.
Which of them do you think is majority? The ones without the job or the ones
without the job?
Okay.
And that's why I think it's very important for us to encourage and develop skills development. It's very important, because if you have your skills now, you can sell it from your house. Do you understand? You can connect with your markets right in front of your kitchen. Like you are serving food, and you're like, people now join serious meeting via Zoom. Do you understand? So all you need to do is to find your hand. This is where it takes us back to mentorship. You need to understand how to survive in the 21st century. You need your knowledge, you need your skills, you need your integrity, reputation, and you need resources. But all these 5 buckets of life, you fill them in gradually. All you need to do is for you to make sure you have a certain level of skills. You can't, like a lot of people, like the other day we're having conversation with somebody who employed a graduate of computer science from one of the federal universities, and he said he could not do some certain things on the computer. And do you understand, like this type of person, what does he want? He will look for a job where they'll employ him and he will just be collecting salary, and it's fine. When there are a lot of ways where you can go into this industry, learn cyber security, do a lot of things, website design, and you make money firsthand.
Talk about the opportunities. I'm just thinking in my head, the opportunities that the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu really talked about. Some of the things he said in the early days in office, I don't know whether before he took in office or while in office, the early days, he talked about this trust fund that was due to be associated with young people. And by June 12th, if my math doesn't desert me now, I presume it will be 2 years into his administration. This trust fund process seems in process. People who have benefited from that process may be mystical or ghost-like, not known. And there are many other things that one would wonder about, the words that moved the nation, but then much of the public evidence is missing. Do you think he has done well with the concept of the trust fund for young people he talked about?
So let me take you there. You see, now we have for the first time in a long time, we have the National Education Fund. That's loan fund that gives loans to undergraduates. I'm not a spokesperson for this government.
No,
but I'm a Nigerian because of my access to
and
media.
Of course, you're a journalist, so you have access to quite a number of.
Thank you. We have the National Educational Fund headed by Mr. Sawyer. Have you been hearing about students having access to that? That's why I say thumbs up to National Orientation Agency. You see it on the TV now. Students appreciating the efforts of the government. That's one. We have the National Agricultural Development Fund headed by Muhammad Abu Ibrahim, a young guy. That's two. We have another one. The Bank of Agriculture is being optimized and is headed also by another young guy. That's 3. And now I read it in the news, or yesterday we had it in the news, that there's also a creativity fund that is coming on board for me and you, who does things that creates activities for young people. So I think, that's what I'm telling you. Government cannot achieve everything. Nigeria do you know how many people are in Nigeria?
Well, last count is 220 million.
Do you understand? 220 million diverse people from different parts of the country. Do you understand? From a community in Jos to where the last attack happened was about 3-4 hours inside Jos. You can travel in Niger around 8 hours. You can travel from Niger to a community inside Niger, 8 hours. So we all need to believe in Nigeria. We all need to put our hands together and make sure that we hold the government accountable. And when they say they're doing something, let's march there and seek the support. Then if we don't go there and we don't get support, they should come out and say, oh, this thing is a lie. But we cannot say, oh, because they've not brought it to our doorstep, it's not working.
So, talking about doorsteps, and this gives me a lot of imagination. Why is it that sometimes information dissemination, and I know the official government's resource to do this is supposed to be the National Orientation Agency, the Ministry of Information, and quite a number of government agencies. But then you hear Nigerians, especially young Nigerians, for example, on Twitter and sometimes on Instagram, you hear conversations about, oh, the student that benefited from this or being portrayed is an actor, put forward to say, this is this, I benefited from this. The real Nigerians are like the young core member, the young lady who said she's tired. You remember the story?
Yes.
She's tired. She's gone through a lot. How can she be serving the country and the likes of that? And there was almost a clampdown, successful clampdown on her view on that. And I start to wonder about, is it that the ones who benefit extensively are also afraid of sharing their testimonials on places like Twitter over and over again?
Let me tell you one typical thing about we Nigerians. And I don't mean this. The moment you're eating, you're always quiet.
Ooh.
Do you understand? Like, we don't like, you not go out and say, oh, today I just collect 2 million naira loan. Then help me and thank God. Because you're already thinking, oh, if I post this online, somebody that or that babe that I've talked to before, she'll come and collect some. So everybody likes to eat in secrecy. I'm not saying that, government has a responsibility, but also we the Nigerians, like, it's just in our character. Like, even they'll tell you at home that, oh, once your food is beginning to dawn, hide it. Did you understand? It's our culture. You keep quiet.
Use your hand and cover it.
So it's our culture, is our person. Do you understand? So that's one thing. And when it comes to the effort of the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation under Alhaji Muhammad Idris, FNIPR, I think they're doing excellently well. You could see the quarterly media chats where ministers have to go to the ministry to give a regular briefing on activities of what they do. It has never happened. Do you understand?
Ministers, there should be ministerial briefings.
But at this time, it is more effective. You see them always at the ministry, going to speak. And even the National Orientation Agency, let's be honest with ourselves, at what point has it been this much optimized? Where you see them back to back speaking about Nigeria. They have the Nigerian Now Value Charter, where Nigeria is speaking, where people are coming out to say, where they're saying, this is the responsibility of Nigeria to Nigerians and Nigerians to Nigeria. If we don't understand what Nigeria means to us, then we don't even know what we're doing in this space.
It brings me, to the question around the number of people who access social media platforms. It's estimated by Statista that about 11.99 million, I think those numbers, if they are still effective, should be on by 2025. There are quite a number of numbers that describe our affiliation and need for social media. Nigeria is number 1 in Africa, according to the Global Web Index, number 2 globally in terms of our engagement as well. And I hear these numbers, and you talk about the turnaround opportunities that exist on the internet and the likes of that. And one is left to wonder about how quite a number of the population is not utilizing this. And my guess would be, do you think young people are using social media or are not using social media to look out for the type of opportunities that will benefit them? Do you think they're not putting in more efforts, that it may be easier to tweet about free VDM or free this, do that? It's easier to run a protest campaign than to look for opportunity that is life-changing.
No, I think one thing is young people, see, if you want something, you look for it. Do you understand? So I think a lot of people take advantage of social media to build themselves and to build their platforms and to build their brands. A lot of people are benefiting off social media. Do you understand? As in, for the most recent in my life, I didn't look for a job. Do you understand?
Why? Let me curiously ask why.
Because I could create my platform. I started with Youth Digest, and gradually I saw that Youth Digest is a perfect audience for youth. but we also needed to build the brand further. We created News Digest. Then we started the Campus Journalism Awards. We moved on to the Campus Journalism Dialogue. So once you find yourself in the industry, you begin to see where you keep expanding. And if you have mentors, they'll always show you that, oh, okay, nice one. First step, good. You have to, like, do you understand? Life is human. You always want more and you always want to build your brand. And I think it's just important for us to continue to invest and build our brands. Build your personal brand because of the day they'll look for it. So 1 minute, they'll say, send it. Are you ready to do it now? Do you understand? Like you create your platform and you might not be making anything until the day God says he comes and you are all over in a demand in a bit. So all what I'm trying to say is that yes, social media is there, but we also need to encourage more young people to use it positively. A lot of people have used it negatively and it's paying them. But our advice for the sake of volume and for Mr. Femi D Life is that let's use social media positively.
Which takes me to one of your successful areas of which you've built on, Journalism Campus Awards.
Yeah.
Of course, Gidado, and for those who don't, we'll go way back a little bit.
Yes.
We'll go back to when we're both single. Now we're both married. Yeah, we'll go way back. And
Yes.
it's of interest to venture into that conversation about why you do such a thing. And I'll tell you why that's of interest to me. When I was 7, many, many years ago, I recall I had an opportunity. It was a university campus radio station, and that was the birth of MD Live. Taught the language. I was in an academic environment, also in the practical environment, and there was just so much excitement about having the freedom to explore, to find out what works and what doesn't work. Why do you do the Campus Journalism Awards?
Okay, so one thing I figured, so why I set up Youth Digest or why I set up the online platform, apart from my dad being my personal advisor and my mentor and someone
I hope
who's
you
good-
pay daddy.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. I can't finish paying him. Do you understand? I figured that a lot of people had interest in journalism, but school was teaching you the theory. They'll teach you the Harold Laswell model. Do you understand? They'll teach you the practical, the theories of communication. Very important. But a lot of young people also need to understand that the skill sets that you need to survive in the 21st century is not just what is taught in class. You need mentors. So that's why we started the Campus Journalism Award. And last year we had the 6th edition, where I was the first brand that popularized the campus journalism. And a lot of people today are doing so well in doing, and I'm happy to see that growth. Do you understand? Because journalism is a fight for survival now, because we have influencers who have more influence than even the journalists themselves.
Than the entire platform.
Do you understand? So we find ourselves we don't want the death of journalism, and we want young people to continue to see a career in it. Because you see, somebody who goes into the university to study mass comm has already thinking that, oh no, would I rather be a reporter who comes to cover my VC events, or I just end up going to becoming a TikToker? Because he doesn't see more than that. Do you understand? He doesn't see more than waking up on social media and saying, oh, this guy is becoming a brand ambassador for these jokes that he makes. And so what we need to do is to get the big brands. Then Uncle Dapo Oloriomi, the publisher of Premium Times, the likes of the publisher of the managing editor of Leadership, Uncle Azu, and all of them, and say, oh yes, sir, please, we want you to come to this platform. So these people will see you as mentors. So you have an idea of, oh, okay, so if I go, I can become like Alhaji Yusuf Ali. I can become like Chief Femi Adesina. I can become like, do you understand? A list of people, do you understand? I can become like Jafar or Malam Abdulaziz. You could become like them. Like, you don't have to, this is not, the one you see every day on your platform. It's not just that one which exists. You can also be professional and be successful. So we created that, and I'm glad a lot of people who left university then entered the first bus to come for our awards. Today, a lot of them are doing very well. There are a few of them in AFP. A lot of them have trained at Al Jazeera. Alfred Orima is doing very well in the UK. And a lot of them, Usman Samad is in AFP. Like, a lot of them have become big brands. Do you understand? And that's because I think we had shared the dream with them that journalism also has its growth. There's also the career succession and development in this industry. And I'm glad that we're able to do that over time. Even the day I had to borrow money to run the award at some point, I don't regret it anymore. Because when you see, do you understand? Like, when you see the way people are, who came at a certain stage and have grown to become big boys or guns in the industry, you're glad. So you feel fulfilled. Like over the last 6 years, we have impacted on more than 3,000 campus journalists in this country. Do you understand? And I think that is what we need to keep doing. We need to continue to show people that, oh, not just that person who you view on social media, who does the madness skits or the joke. There are also career progressions and career successions that you could venture into and become successful.
Let's take a turn towards journalism as one would find in itself. Oh boy, it's tough because many of the platforms that you and I know are struggling to pay or they are getting compromised and the likes of that. And the search for a sustaining model to help everyday payments and operations, I mean, it's endless. What's your secrets? Let me pretend like you have some.
So first of all, what we try to do is to partner agencies as much. And again, I'll have to be very honest with you. Okay, so today I have more than 8 staff and about 3 to 4 interns who we pay every month. You know, in Yoruba they say Ogata, Ogaota, whether Oga sell, Oga did not sell, or the staff will collect his salary at the end of the month. Do you understand? So you are forced to be an entrepreneur. That's why I call it a consistent effort. You have to think. You have to have strategic partners. You have to be able to create content that are appealing. You have to be able to reach out to organizations who want to put up adverts at certain period. You have to be very, very smart about it. You have to be very strategic again. And you have to believe in what we call third party. Do you understand? Like, once you find yourself in business, it's not as rosy as everybody you think. Because number one, let me tell you something, right? There's a time when we'll get a business and somebody's putting up an advert, but the agent of that advert, maybe General Advert is coming at 2 million. The agent of that advert will collect maybe 1.3 million. More than you that own the platform. And you have to succumb. You don't want to collect it tomorrow. I mean, you don't want it again. Do you understand? So a lot of time, you have to be able to be an entrepreneur. Your head is thinking. You know when they said before, when you're growing up, you see daddy receiving fresh air outside. It's not fresh air. Daddy is calculating that God. So if I join here and there, so you have to, and again, you have to diversify your income. That's very honest. Journalism journalism is an industry that would put you on the limelight and will connect you and put you in the right network. So not every time some organizations will tell you they don't have adverts, but they have another things to offer. But for the fact that your platform is respected and you have a level of reputation and integrity and you have the knowledge, skills and resources, they will give you other things that you can make money from. So you have to diversify. Just anything that's legal, trust. Like, see, my bro, I will not lie to you. It takes me like for a long time. You see, you can't sleep for too long because you just figure that but 7 days to paying these people salary. What next? Do you understand?
I do the vibe. I'm there constantly.
Do you understand? So you'll be like, but again, you'll be figuring, God, this money I'm going to pay these people never. If I had put it in my house now, it's a fried chicken, everybody will be happy. But you know that you're building your brand.
Yes.
And your brand is your identity.
Certainly.
Yeah.
I have to say a big thank you to you, Gidado Shuaib, for coming on.
Thank you so much,
Volume.
Mr. Femidi. We've
Thank
come
you
a
so
long
much.
way.
Yes, we are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's good to have this conversation again.
Yes, thank you.
Stay with us right here on Volume with Femdi Life. Yes, feel free to agree or disagree. We'll take it on right there in the comment section or whatever platform you're accessing this very podcast as we have it. Thank you so much. I am Femi D. Amele.